So what's going on, guys? My name's Violent. Welcome to Grid Zombies. That's right, we're talking TREYARCH 2018. Welcome to where I'm going to be covering some of the news and the segments happening in the zombies community. So be sure to drop that big fat fucking like on the way in the door and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section if you're new. It only takes a second of your time. And if anything here sparks an idea with you, hit me up over on Twitter at GrizzViolent. It's the best place to keep talking zombies. Now we know this November, TREYARCH's going to be making a hot appearance into the scene after a long-awaited return to the franchise. Is it going to be Black Ops 4? Is it going to be called something completely different? I can't tell you at this point. I still think we're about a month or two out from getting an actual reveal of the actual title of the next game, and you know Zombies is going to be hand in hand with that title. I think Black Ops is a very successful brand that TREYARCH's bringing into the mix, and it can only get better if they go with Black Ops 4. Everyone's going to support it. Now, I'm going to bring up the Holiday Community Challenge that happened December 28th of 2017. And that is because it's amazing to see the support that's still rolling in. I mean, this is a community event where everyone could take part. I believe this was multiplayer kills or headshots, I'm not sure. But everybody was able to take part in this, and it was another event that was occurring. Now, I don't think it was zombies related. I do think that was multiplayer driven, and that is because of the front that's happening in World War II. I think Call of Duty World War II absolutely is catering to the multiplayer, but something that hit us, which is juicy, and we're going to be talking TREYARCH for the remainder of this video. Happy New Year came out on January 1st of 2018. This was the last tweet that we've ever heard from TREYARCH ever since, but it's also the very first tweet that we've heard from TREYARCH this year, so looking at the glass half full, that's how I like to keep this thing rolling. I think we're misjudging how likely Mob of the Dead is going to be one of the very first maps. Maybe not the launch map, but the DLC add-on map. It could be either or. David Vonderhaar has been putting out some crazy, amazing tweets, and this one in particular was deleted. You can see in the background Remastered Mob of the Dead. If we zoom in really quick, right there, also another Mob of the Dead Remastered image, and it seems like things are pointing in the direction of a remastered Mob of the Dead for the launch map of TREYARCH 2018. What do you guys think about that? It seems like the devs are tweeting towards it, things are being deleted, and also the community's just hyped AF over Mob of the Dead, and I think this was definitely goes in the history books as one of the greatest maps of all time, but also noting that TREYARCH is the GOAT of all the developers. David Vonderhaar comes back from a tweet that he was posting about Fortnite. Just kidding. Why would anyone play a game where the object is to survive as long as you can? That's just silly. So, what I take from this is that the endgame grind that I am pushing for so hard to get into World War II zombies that just doesn't seem to be, or wanted to be put in there. But the text reads, why would anyone play a game where the object is to survive as long as you can? And that is simple. That's because that's the biggest harp, is high rounds, right? So high rounds and balancing is a big issue. As I've done the patch notes year in and year out, it always seems that that is the issue. The zombies being too strong, too many boss zombies coming in. The balancing and high rounds is a big factor with replayability. That has to be balanced very correctly, and TREYARCH does that right on so many different fronts. But what I want to talk about is a little bit of the storyline. Where are we at currently? And what was the last thing that we saw? Well, in the actual Chronorium excerpt that we have of the timeline, the last thing it says for Revelations is, with the Shadow Man and the Apothecants vanquished, Monty discovers that Primus has consumed the blood of souls from dimensions that no longer exist. The paradox must be resolved. Now, thinking about this, that's the last thing we heard. We have two different directions that the arrows go to, right? It originates from the Great War happening between the Apothecants and humanity. That is originally in the timeline towards the beginning, right? This happened at a very early date. However, what happened in Black Ops 3 at the end when that cutscene occurred? Is it as obvious as that we're all reset and the cycle just continues, you know, the cycle's over, the end? No. What occurred is very shocking, and very shocking indeed. Now, where I think people draw the misconception is that they're not reading between the lines. And that's something that we're going to be doing all year long, is trying to read between the lines, because Treyarch's very cryptic. So when you read the timeline very carefully, you'll notice right under Dimension 63, which is our new universe, this says, on January 15th, the Great War between humanity and the Apothicans begins. That's where that arrow took us. The second arrow took us from the original timeline to Revelations, where the Blood Vials situation occurred, and it fractured into Dimension 63. So what happened in Black Ops 3? What happened in the storyline throughout Black Ops 3? We have to understand that the Great War, the original Great War, not the battle that occurred, we're talking about the Great War. This is the ultimate war that we know about through Shadows of Evil. That was fractured into Dimension 63, which will cause a whole nother chain of events that we're going to experience in Black Ops 4. This is where Treyarch's going to get creative. One thing is that we know in the background there are many different things happening besides a storyline being told to us through Black Ops 3. Our premise characters, as we know them, the OG crew from Origins, you know, these guys are the main story, but it takes place through different variations of them. We know that there are clones, it seems like, through different timelines. It's not cloning, is what it is. What it is they're going into a different dimension where themselves basically was there. So if you were to go and time travel back to another time, you would have yourself there as well. And you would run into that person and have different confrontations. Richtofen is killing off versions of themselves. These are things that became apparent in Black Ops 3. These are things that were happening, and maybe I can help you come along if you found this storyline very confusing. The last thing that we got in the comic was a new Mob of the Dead loading screen. So it points in the direction of Mob of the Dead is coming next. This is the last thing that Treyarch gave us. When Comic Book 6 came out of the Call of Duty Zombies comic through Dark Horse Comics, we got this crazy loading screen. In the bottom right, we see the stasis machines that the transit crew was in. This is another image from Comic 6, but you can see that in the lower right corner. In the upper right corner, we have some sort of fuse that looks like a tampon. Below that, when Richtofen, the Master Richtofen from Dimension 63, gives the blood vials to his younger self. It's crazy. But like the transit crew, we have many other timelines playing out. We have one with the children. We know something recent happened with Samantha. What was that? With Chronicles. And then we have our Mob of the Dead crew. So many routes that can be taken. Now at the end of a job posting that actually happened last month in January, Treyarch left this sort of passionate set of paragraphs that I really want to read to you, because it really tells how passionate they are moving in to this next title. Absolutely. Developing games since 1996, Treyarch is home to some of the industry's best and brightest talent. Prior to entering development of Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the studio's Call of Duty Black Ops 2 set worldwide launch day records, with its previous game, Call of Duty Black Ops, having also set an entertainment launch opening record in 2010. Black Ops 2 continues to be one of the best-selling games of all time. Treyarch is also the birthplace of Call of Duty Zombies. We employ the world's greatest engineering, design, and creative talent, and give them the cutting-edge technology, tools, and resources that they need to thrive creatively, both on their own and as teams. Man, if you're a developer trying to read that, that's gotta hit you right in the feels, man, for sure. It's our life's passion to create epic gameplay experiences that are enjoyed by as many video game fans as possible. We are driven by a deep sense of pride, consistently striving to do the best work of our careers so fans can have the most fun of their lives. That's how the job posting ends. So I firmly believe that Treyarch, and all of the testimonies that I'm hearing right now that are coming out, that this is the best game that they've ever made. And it's beyond Black Ops 3. So I think we're going to have one of the best experiences, Zombies experiences, coming into 2018. November is the month. Mark it in your calendars. Of all the time that you need to take off work, November is going to be that month. And best believe, this channel, my channel, Grizz Zombies, is going to have you covered each step of the way. We're already starting. So if you're looking for a credible source on your way to November of 2018, this is the place for you. I'll cover all of Zombies news, gameplay, and patch notes all along the way, and all season long. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed the Mob of the Dead gameplay, and I can keep it up. But I'll see you in the next one. Violent out.